Oh boy, that last video sure got a lot of attention. uh, and I'm sorry, I didn't do it right. I generalized all liberals, and you're probably not all as bad as I made it sound. So sorry about that. I'm sure I love most of you guys. So yeah, last video it had 22 likes, which is great, and only 1 dislike, but then at the same time 7 people unsubbed, so they were clearly offended. Was it my fault that they were offended? Did I speak to them and they didn't realize that they were not the kind of liberal that I was talking about? Or were they in fact that kind of liberal? And farewell? No? Let's not worry about that. Anyways, I've made a shocking discovery. I have seen that Edmund has had a Twitter poll, and it seems that a majority of his followers actually approve of Hillary rather than Trump. And we all know my opinion on that. I fucking hate Hillary. But that's not what we're gonna talk about now, is it? I talked to Edmund, and it turns out that he has known this, obviously, because I'm just an idiot who didn't know. So apparently the Binding of Isaac has a huge liberal demographic, because a lot of people approve of making fun of religion, and then also approve of all the other liberal ideas. So who knew? I didn't, because I thought people were more complex than that, but I guess at least in America, the conservatives are mostly more biased towards religion and the liberals against, so I didn't realize that. Might be the same over here, actually, I just don't know. Well, I guess it's a little more complex. There's less crazy religious people. No, actually, I don't know about that either. There might be just as many. I shouldn't talk about that at the moment. What I should talk about is that's fine, because I like the Binding of Isaac, obviously, and I like making fun of religious people, and I like making fun of some liberal people too, because they're social justice warriors that really deserve it. They make really bad choices, and they try to censor everyone, and then they try to get people fired. And I don't know if there's bad Republicans too. I'm sure you've heard of them. I didn't hear much about them, and I don't fully disagree with even the bad ones. So I do fully disagree with those social justice warriors that really cause problems. So I'm sorry if you're one of them, but don't be offended, because, well, I guess you're gonna be offended. Well, sorry about that, but my opinion is that if you only listen to people that you already agree with, you will never learn anything new. So I go out there and I educate myself on lots of things all the time, and so should you. It's a whole great wealth of knowledge out there, and there's companies that try to shield you from knowledge. There's this bubble effect that you have on social media and on Google, where you only see opinions that you agree with, and maybe that's not even so bad, because some people have gotten so sheltered that they actually delete people who they disagree with instantly off Facebook, even if it's just a minor disagreement or whatever. And that's why some people have to choose their words very carefully if they have very liberal friends. And I think I have very liberal friends, because, as Edmund further elaborated, that's a better word, a lot of people are liberal in California, and a lot of people who work in the arts are extremely liberal, and there's very few people that he'll have access to who isn't going to be extremely liberal as well. They even have weed legalized there. Outrageous. Weed. And on YouTube as well, you have this phenomenon where you get filtered results that are based on your political opinions, and I see that you have now been exposed to something that breaks that flow, because you've subscribed to me thinking that I'd be a liberal just as well, because because I made Isaac and I don't like religion, but I have far more complex opinions than that. It's getting hard to avoid talking about the election, but it's probably best I avoid the election because I could just go on forever about that. Maybe I should and maybe I shouldn't, but I'm slightly happy that Trump won, if you haven't gathered that yet. Not sure if I would have preferred Trump over Bernie Sanders, but I would have definitely preferred Trump over Hillary, and that's all I'm going to say about that for now in this video. So, I watch a lot of stuff, as I said. I very much like the Amazing Atheist. He criticizes religion a lot, obviously, and he also criticizes both parties of the election in that case, for example. I think he might have had a slight bias towards Trump, but who knows. He says he doesn't, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I think he's great. And he has a lot of content that is very entertaining and mildly politically interesting as well, but make sure to bring your two grains of salt with you at all times, obviously. Because vampires hate salt. So, what else do I like to watch? I like some very controversial YouTube stuff as well, such as the turd flinging monkey. Oh god, you will get so triggered when you watch him. Oh my god, you guys. But I obviously don't fully agree with him, just so you know. And what else? Computing Forever. I think he's a very good example for a rational, what, Republican? God, I never know what Republican, Democrat basically mean the same thing, just so you know, the words, not the meaning that you've put to them. They don't mean the same thing, but a republic is a democratic state, right? So those two mean the same thing. Stupid naming convention. Stupid donkey and whatever the other one was, elephant. Stupid two-party system. Alright, shit, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, he's conservative, I guess. That's a better word for it. Which is, he couldn't even be the other things that I said because he's not American, so. He's conservative, pro-Brexit, British. Damn it, no, he's actually from Ireland. Sorry about that. And I don't agree with Brexit, so there's already a disagreement there, but he's just got great videos, and it's just amazing to listen to him. And there's all kinds of stuff like that I listen to, and I obviously watch Jim Sterling, and he's a raging social justice warrior. But I still like his stances on pro-consumer practices in gaming, so he's cool. I wonder if he still likes me. I wonder if he's noticed this slightly conservative outbreak that I've apparently had. Oh boy, I might have offended him, who knows. I never even talked to him in person. But he did say he might do voice acting in my game. Maybe that's out of the window now. I'd still like him to do it. I'd like a lot of people to do voice acting in that game. And I had a very good role for him to play. I haven't told him yet, and it's a secret to everyone, but I think it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be huge. It's not gonna be political though, so don't worry about that. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of YouTube channels that devote themselves to political discussion, and they're fucking fascinating. Maybe I should get more liberal ones too, but then again, I suppose the Amazing Atheist is fairly liberal, even though he doesn't agree with Hillary. I think he wanted Sanders. I might be wrong. He probably wanted Sanders, yeah. He's the kind of weed-smoking fool who likes Sanders. Sorry about that. I'm sure that applies to most of my audience, or at least most of the Isaac audience. I'm not sure if this channel has already tilted more towards the middle now than the original Isaac demographic, because I've obviously made certain remarks that will probably have driven some liberals away. I know I kept losing subscribers because I thought because of boredom, but maybe now I might realize now that they might have been lost because of political opinions. And that's interesting because I saw a video earlier that said that the most powerful discrimination that is being faced by people these days is the one against political parties, because people really can't get along with people who don't share their political views. And that's why a lot of successful people will be shy about their political views and not talk about them openly, just like Edmund does. I'm not sure if I already mentioned this, because I had to do this video twice, because I, like an idiot, talked to myself for half an hour without having the mic on, so maybe I already mentioned this, but Edmund has some liberal standards that are good. He believes that people should be free to express themselves and conduct themselves however they please, as long as they don't harm others, and that is a very noble position to have, and that's why Edmund is beyond reproach, and he is just the best. So that's why a lot of people have been possibly magnetized towards him, because of this easygoing mentality of do no harm. So that makes sense, but that's not entirely me, is it? Because I have some opinions, and I will say them occasionally, and I know that's not a thing that is popular. And it would be nice if you people could get over that fact, because you'll never learn anything if you don't listen to people who disagree with you. Alright, so let's see, what are my controversial opinions? Well, I certainly think that Hillary is terrible. There's that one old video where she says about how she made this proposal to the Senate that they should ban violent video games, and that is just a great example for how Hillary has been on either side of every nasty political debate that has ever been out there, and then she's changed her mind and gone to the other side. It's really, I don't even understand how you can take a woman like that seriously.
I'm here today as a parent and a senator, and along with my colleagues and so many of the advocates from around the country, we are determined to stop a situation in which video games with pornographic and violent content are being peddled to our children. Today I'm announcing, along with my colleagues, Senator Lieberman and Bai, the Family Entertainment Protection Act. This bill will prohibit the sale of violent and sexually explicit video games to minors, and will give parents the tools they need to make informed decisions.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Many games contain content that is deeply disturbing. It's almost routine in popular games for players to spray other people with Uzis, to drive over pedestrians, to kill police officers, to attack women, and in some cases even to engage in cannibalism. Players commit gruesome acts like these using top-of-the-line graphics in stunningly realistic detail. Now, it is up to adults whether they wish to expose themselves to this type of violence and pornography. But we have 40 years of research to tell us that violent media is bad for our children.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
How are children to learn if this is who speaks to them? And then she just plays the feminist card, the woman card, just so she could get the liberal votes, I guess. And she pretty much just all I see her do is what I think is just very deceptive. And you don't seem to have that problem with Trump, because he's definitely not deceptive. Unless he's a closet Nazi, but I don't think so. Don't think he'll be causing World War III and then just eradicating the Muslims. I don't think that's gonna happen. And the Mexicans. No, I don't believe it. God, I hate when I record a video and then I have to do it again. Ah, Jesus. Trump. I think that it's good that America is getting a strong financial leader, instead of just having these strong social justice warrior leaders that you've had with Obama and his administration. So it would be nice if there were less people that believe in the gender pay gap and more people that actually know how to earn money and how to make choices that benefit everyone rather than just benefiting women. So, yeah. And I know that one of the big problems with Obama is that, with Trump is that he is against environmentalism, possibly. Definitely against the theory of global warming. And I have a very complex opinion on that. I think that we should cut back on car exhaust as much as possible, but I at the same time don't fully believe in global warming. And I don't worry about global warming because I don't live near the ocean and I don't live in a warm country, and I could do with a little warming. So I know there's been catastrophic predictions of what global warming will do, which I think are possibly exaggerated, very likely exaggerated in fact. And I am pretty sure that the world will adapt, and people are getting so much better at adapting. Oh my fuck. Just the sheer power that the human race wields. I'm sure that we could brave global warming and it wouldn't even be a big problem. And I would like it to be a little warm in this country, so I'm not worried about global warming. But what I'm worried about is the fact that cars give you cancer with their exhausts. And they're almost as bad as cigarettes, if not worse. And that's a problem. And electric cars, they're not better either, because producing them is outrageously expensive and taxing for the environment as well. So if you're worried about the fucking global warming that Trump's gonna cause, why don't you just get rid of your car? Do it like me and work from home. Oh yes, I'm sure you can't do that. Sure you can't be like me. But that's fine, not everyone has to make a difference. People can just be part of the system. They can just be a cog in the system. I don't mind that. There's nothing wrong with just doing your job and being there to make money and buy things, living the American dream. And I think it's good that the American dream has another chance to be a little bit less politically correct now with Trump in power, or in power to be. The powers to be. Can't stomp the Trump. Oh yeah, the immigration problem, or lack thereof. I definitely think that Trump is probably going to go overboard, or at least he's saying he's going overboard. Maybe he's just saying that for now, and maybe he'll be perfectly reasonable, who knows, but it would probably be better if he did not throw out all the Mexicans, especially because one of them is working on my game. Yeah, so please leave the Mexicans be. I'm not gonna speak about the Muslims though. You deal with them as you like. Everyone for themselves. Alright, so yep, that's where I'm coming from, and please don't unsubscribe because I don't share your opinions. If you have opinions, please let me know in the comments, and don't just be one of those offended people who unsubscribe instantly instead of bringing up counterpoints. I've actually had decent discussions with people on the last video that were nice, so keep that up. I like my audience, and I hope that you can be part of it if you aren't already. Subscribe for more, please. Goodbye.